Well, what's the fucking crack? Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Buckshot. The numbers are back. Fuck it. I'm bringing the numbers back. It keeps my head level. I think this is number 103. Welcome back. I'm putting the numbers back in, lads, because I think it's easier all around. Well, it's easier for my brain anyway, when I'm actually fucking editing this shit. What not? You're all very welcome. Friday the 22nd of March 2019. 2019. The warm weather's back, lads. We're in the fucking business. We're in the business. Yeah, I'm going to get out of your way quickly and get this on the road. Thank you very much, Patreon folks. Thank you very much. I have discovered how to make video. Simple video. And put it up purely for the Patreon people. So that's your little for the minute. And there'll be more content coming for ye. But that's yours for the minute. Patreon folk get that. They get fucking that. Gigs this week. Oh yeah, the T Republic. There's 35% off all T Republic stuff right at the minute, right now. So go to trepublic / Tom O'Mahony Buckshot. The link will be in the show notes, as I say. So thank you very much, Patreon people. Thank you very much, T Republic people. Gigs this week. Before I talk to you again next Tuesday, I'll be in the Woolshed in Dublin on Friday night. Tuesday I'll be in UCH in Limerick. Wednesday I'll be in Riff Raff Comedy Club on Camden Street in Dublin. I don't know where I am on Thursday, but sure, I'll be talking to you again on Tuesday anyway. That's all I have to say about that. That's all I'm saying about that. Tickets are about to go on sale pretty soon. They're going to put the first few on sale for Defending the Caveman. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I know. That's all I can tell you. I'll let you fucking know when I know. Right, I have to go and fucking do a thing before I head to another place. That's cryptic, isn't it? Huh? I'm a man of mystery. Today's guest, we met about 3-4 years ago, I think it was. But it would have been 3 years ago. He was a director on the first panto I did. Very, very fucking gas man. Sound skin. There's not, if you check out this fella's website, it's ridiculous. Like, there's nothing he hasn't done. And I mean, nothing he hasn't done in the industry, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. That's for you, Karl. He directed Anglo the musical, but most recently, I suppose, more known to Irish ears, he directed Coppers the musical, the Paul Howard written play. So he describes in it, this chat, holy fuck, the kind of shit your pants moment about 4 days out from actually going live. And he's done like a fucking ton of other things. And now he has this cool fucking kids podcast on board called Professor Nasty, which is fucking brilliant. And from what I can tell, he's in talks with RTE Junior about making it into a thing, which would be unbelievably brilliant for him. A hell of a nice guy. Great chat. We sat down in the lovely Laughter Lounge. So please sit back, enjoy the very brilliant Karl Harpur. Karl Harpur.
Hell yeah.
How are you getting on? Welcome home.
Thanks very much.
How's it? Your hands are they warmed up any bit at all? Have they?
They were icy, but we're now, because we're indoors,
you
they're fine.
Poor thing. What temperature is in LA when you left?
Well, do you know what? It was actually quite cold. So, but like cold is kind of early teens, like, yeah.
Early teens tend to be quite cold anyway, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Freaks if I remember my teen.
So, but it has been cold. It has been cold. Like, it's rained the most it's ever rained since we moved over there. Like this year so far, it's been mental.
Yeah, and you did a sketch, didn't you? I remember that sketch was brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an in-joke for people, really, but knowing so many friends who've gone to LA, they know the fucking character. It's the total opposite to Ireland, essentially.
Yeah. So it's called The Day LA Stood Still, and it's about 4 friends who are, in inverted commas, trapped in their apartments because it's raining outside. Because when it rains in Los Angeles, it's like the world has fucking stopped. Like, nobody knows what to fucking do.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like us when we get the snow.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. Only we don't have any Brennan's bread in LA, so it's all like, fancy bread.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. What is it really that bad that if they just shit the bed?
Yeah, I mean, like they driving over there, it's the worst city I've ever driven in.
Is it even worth driving in? Like, because
you have to drive in it.
Traffic. There's no public transport we're talking about.
Like, I did public transport when I first arrived over because I didn't have a car, and it's just horrific.
Is it?
Like, it just takes so long, like, to go very short distances. So you have to have a car. Like, there's no two ways about it.
Right, yeah.
See, back in the day, here's a bit of a history lesson.
Oh, lovely. I'll put an intro music to this one, will I?
So there was a tram system, and there was a decent public transport system in Los Angeles back in the day.
Yeah.
But then the gas companies came in and the car companies came in, like Ford came in, and they bought up all the fucking land and got rid of all the tram systems and said, right, lads, these are driving cars, and here's the fucking roads for driving them.
Jesus Christ.
And like the amount of, highways.
It's the most American sounding thing I've ever heard.
Like, it's unbelievable. Like, where we live, I'd say there must be at least kind of 7 like highways, like motorways,
right,
in a short vicinity around where we live. That's how everything is connected.
Jesus,
it's mad. Like, I'm there 6 years now, and like I do know my way around quite a bit, but like I still need to use sat nav.
Of course, yeah. Christ almighty. Imagine the roadworks, then one bit of roadworks and the whole thing's fucking gone sideways.
Yeah. No, they are the worst drivers. Like, there's none of them use indicators.
No.
It's like a
like
game.
Cork. It's like Cork.
Like Cork, yeah. They just pull out in front of you. The horn has become just like obsolete. You hear a car horn, you don't like it. Doesn't phase
right.
Like, it's because it just happens all the time.
Jesus,
they beep you for no reason. Well, maybe they are beeping me for a reason. I don't know what
fuck
it is.
You're probably using your indicators like a boss. What's this? I didn't even know there's yellow lights on the side of the car. Yeah.
Your lights are flashing. It's a fucking indicator. Jesus.
And do you know, we'll give a bit of a background in how we met for the first time. You wrote and directed the first panto I was in, Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Down in Limerick.
Yeah.
And were you running another one then in the Helix at the same simultaneously?
Yeah. Well, it worked out really well. Like, I started Limerick when it first started, and it just so happened that their rehearsals started the day after the opening night of the Helix Panto.
Oh, right.
So I literally went like, I used to be able to go out on the opening night of the Helix Panto.
Because you're on the way to Limerick.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, we were rehearsing in Dublin.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want, like, especially the first couple of years. And like, we had Twink the first couple of years, and
Jesus.
like, I love Twink. She's fucking brilliant. But there was no way, I'd never met her before, and there was no way I was going in, like, hungover on the first day of rehearsals.
Having to wrangle Twink. I've heard she was something else. All right, a sight to behold. Like,
absolutely brilliant. Like,
just turbo camp, turbo fucking everything. Like,
yeah. And like, just like go on her, like, you do up a schedule, but like, sure, like, whatever happens.
It's funny. I had Bernard Jackman, the rugby player, on here a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that when he was in France coaching, he says there's just some coaches will go over there and think they're going to stamp their authority on a French team, like, but within 2 weeks you realise, no, these lads just do what the fuck they want. Like, if they're going to break out the fags and bread at fucking break time, then it's happening. And it sounds like a team of twinks, basically. Like, just
15 twinks.
15 twinks.
That'd be some rugby team, wouldn't it?
Imagine it. Nobody going near it. Just fucking lethal.
Yeah. You would. You just kind of, you just go with it. You just go with it. And like, when you're rehearsing or whatever, you saw like how fucking great she is. Yeah. Custom built for this situation. Totally. But at the same time, it kind of break your heart as well.
Really?
Well, yeah, because like you would have a kind of a schedule, and then if
yeah.
I hope she doesn't listen to this fucking
Not
podcast.
Not at all. She don't listen.
I thought everyone listened to this podcast.
Only smart people listen to this podcast. Okay. That's not to say she's not smart, but I don't think I'm right up her street. I kind of take the piss out of everything, everything wanky there is walking. Do you know, like, and this is the thing. It's a big. You like in the time you've left LA. Like, I don't know. Like, Ireland has become very LA. Like, people are actually buying into the horse shit that people are selling now, of highest quality horse shit. Like
what?
Like, do you know people making money from just being on Instagram?
Oh yeah,
that's a thing now in Ireland.
Influencers.
Yeah, that's a thing in Ireland now, where people actually go, "Hi guys, so I'm here," and nobody's actually going, "You're just being exactly like the other fucker I just saw. You're doing and you're doing a whole pile of nothing. What am I supposed to... But people are, I don't know, people are appreciating people who do fucking nothing.
It's the honesty, Tom, you know.
Is that what it is?
It's the honesty. It's just, I can just relate to that person, you know. Like, fuck off.
I've done a few, and I've had friends who would be kind of the influency world realize I was taking the piss. It's like, hey guys, so I'm wearing. I know some of you were asking today. I was like, go fuck yourself. Don't be fucking asking me any questions about my clothes, you weirdo. You know.
Yeah.
And it's me. And I've done it. Just only come on, lads. Come on to a fuck.
Or I'm pretty sure that when any of those influencers say something like, I've gotten so many messages and DMs from people asking me about my hair, and like, you go, nobody's fucking asked you. You just want to sound important. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and you want your next haircut to be free.
What would they do if they weren't influencers?
This is
what
the
would
thing.
they be doing?
This is something I fucking... Do you know what? That's a sketch maybe we should look into doing. Like, you know, when influencers get... Yeah.
Behind the... laughter.
Or behind the influence, what retired influencers do, or do you know influencers who are maybe putting a band list, you know, or whatever, and they're in the bad boy corner,
or like a retirement home for influencers.
Today's adult nappies have
from
been brought...
influencers to influenza.
Hi guys, so a ton of people were asking me where I get my adult nappies. Like I just can't. I can't tolerate that shit at all. Like, you know what I mean? I just can't. Like, fucking hell tonight.
Like, yeah, because my wife, who I love dearly, and like if she listens to this, she'll go, for fuck's sake,
that's
Karl.
a tee up. I love that people do. Like my wife, who I love dearly.
Yeah, but she will put on like E and the channel, or she'll put on...
I got a pain in my chest just as you said that. Go on.
And I'm going, like, Jen, out of all the stuff you could be watching right now, like documentaries, or even some like funny fucking sitcom or whatever, like you're choosing. She goes, like, you're choosing to watch this, and she's like, yeah, but it's just like you just leave your brain at the door, and you know, I've had a long day, and I just want to watch crap, you know.
Yeah.
But when you're watching it, you're like, maybe it's just because I'm 40 now next month, you know.
Right.
So I'm in a totally different zone to these people.
Yeah,
and you're listening to these presenters who are just, they're just commenting on other people's lives, like celebrities' lives.
Yeah.
Like, do they get fulfillment in their work? Like,
they must be getting fulfillment from somewhere else relative to that work. Like their bank balance, I'm guessing, is fucking, you know, or something.
But here's the thing, though. You know, like your bank balance, like obviously money is important and all the rest.
Yeah.
Of it. But like seriously, like what are you
the
contributing to the world?
Yeah. Where's the pride in that?
Yeah.
Like,
what are you gonna look back in your life and go, oh, do you remember that time I reported on Hugh Jackman when he dropped his phone?
Yeah. But that's quite I'll never forget there was this thing, and I talked about it on I used to do a bit on it. I can't fucking remember fully, but it was about watching it's about how Irish people don't buy into that. Now, it's since gone, but and I remember, but I knew the cracks were coming when I saw an Irish guy working for TMZ. It was some clip that just came up in front of me, and it was about Irish people being racist. It was it was totally wrong anyway. Yeah. It was why wasn't Beyonce or Jay-Z approached while walking across the Phoenix Park? They went for a walk one day and nobody went near them. And that's a glorious thing on their behalf, I'm guessing. But reporters that were American that followed him here to run around after him. Stunned. There was no people coming after him. And they were like, what gives with... And they were in the offices. This is so staged looking. It was this offices of TMZ.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like the camera was all sideways, like it was the old Batman. Do you remember in the baddies' caves?
Yeah,
it'd always be sideways.
Yeah.
And it's also
that's cool.
It's supposed to look also gonzo looking, like, and the cameras, and they've got this the editors there going, so guys, latest thing, Jay-Z and Beyonce are in Ireland. What gives with that? We're gonna, hey, Sean. And of course, there's an Irish guy working there who's as cunty as the rest of them, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, Sean, what gives with that? Irish people don't like Beyonce and Jay-Z, and they just she had just sold out like Croke Park or something.
Yeah.
And they're going, I don't know, guys. And he goes, is it racist? What?
Did he actually say that?
No, she said to him, but your man wouldn't cut her down. Like, he just went, I don't know, guys. It's a bit fishy.
See, they're trying to
just
create some fucking drama.
You dirty bastards. Yeah. Just dredging drama for out of nothing. Out of fucking nothing. Just
nothing.
When two people went for a walk in a park. That's essentially what the story is. Two people went for a walk in the fucking Phoenix Park. 800 acres.
But would that happen now? Like, would they get mobbed? They'd probably
I know. I'd say they probably wouldn't, but there'd be more Irish people probably talking about it on Instagram.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
They would know. Somebody would know that they were going for that walk now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think en masse. Certainly people that I get so many DMs from my listeners. I get fucking blokes or young ones just sitting and driving a truck, pretty much going, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's pretty much it. But if I was to give it a rough gauge on the world that way, I would imagine it's not en masse. You know, the cunt hasn't taken over. It's still just a very loudmouth little minority.
But it's a minority.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's fine.
Because it's funny because even in comedy, like, you'll get pulled up on it so often. Like, you see, I kind of aggressive comedy anyway.
Well, do you leave a gig, or have you left a gig where somebody will come up and they will say they're offended?
Yeah, once, really. A few people have given it I think 5 minutes in, they realise, oh, this is all just silly tongue-in-cheek. We're in a comedy club. Yeah. And I've actually pointed it out when people go, ooh, or whatever. I'm going, we're not at a lecture.
Yeah.
You're not here to learn.
Well, see, I have this. It's not a philosophy at all, really. And I think, like, I'm not a stand-up comic, but I do love comedy. And you
write comedy as well, so you have to be in that. In that mind frame.
Yeah, like there's definitely stuff that I've written even for the panto, and it's like,
it's on the edge.
Claire's kind of going, we can't do that, and I said, can we at least try it? No, Karl, it's a panto. And I'm all right, fuck it. But like, sorry. I don't think there is any joke you can tell that should be taken as offensive. You could say anything. I mean, and as long as it's a joke, you might you can.
The clue's in the name. The clue's in the name of it.
Exactly. But people getting offended by jokes is outrageous because it's a joke. If there is intent behind it and there's malice,
but then it's not a joke.
Then it's not exactly. Exactly. But people who get offended by jokes, are cunts.
Yeah, cunts.
Like,
110%.
Like, there's no reason in the world you should get offended. By all means, not like the joke. Don't laugh. You know,
there was a poster went around. I thought it was fake, but I checked it out. It wasn't. It was in was it a Vancouver? It was a Canadian comedy club. And if I can find it on Instagram, I put it up there as maybe 6 months ago or whatever. And it was basically in a happy-go-lucky way. These are all the things that won't be said here tonight.
No.
Yeah. And it was all like, there'll be no anti-fucking this. There'll be no... and it was like...
What's the point?
What's the point in going in the fucking door of the place? So you're just going to fucking wash your entire body in bleach as well while you're at it, just to make sure there isn't any bit of soul left in you, whatever.
Could you imagine that poster been put up, like,
here?
10 years ago?
Oh, 10 years ago.
Anywhere, you know,
it wouldn't be up here. I can tell you, this is a bastion of go fuck yourself.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's and what's funny is because you do get a large volume of people, like they can cram in 500 in there, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Typically it's 350, but I've seen a crowbar to nearly 500, like, and that's like that is beautiful, like, you know. Yeah. But once a month only, I got
what was it? Who
I got properly accosted here. Americans, of course. Only just off the fucking plane, the fuckers, and they thought they were still in LA or wherever the fuck, or probably Portland. You know what I mean?
Somewhere in the Midwest.
Yeah, fucking. And this lad comes up to me, and I'd had a banging said, but there was nothing. I don't think there was anything.
What did you say?
Offended. I didn't. This is the thing. I didn't say it. They'd misheard me. And
okay.
but the lack of mental maturity to be able to take a backward step was huge. But this is where it was so many fucking twists and turns. Your man, this guy comes up to me, tall, good-looking fella. Black lad.
How good looking?
I was good looking now. I was fucking...
Would you?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
Did you?
I didn't know, because it turns out he didn't, he was thick with me for a fin. Well, he was the thing, he wasn't even thick with me, he was just frightened of the missus. And he comes up to me after the set, I was standing at the back chatting with one of the boys, and he says, can I talk to you real quick? And I went, oh, there's something in that now.
Yeah.
I don't like the way
that's not like, I want to, like, well done on your
set.
Yeah,
any chance of an old photograph or something? Yeah. No, he goes, can I talk to you real quick? I says, listen, lad, if there's anything at all on stage that was said that you're bothered with, I'm off the clock now. So write an email. And I've just said that once. I don't normally get people coming at me anyway, but I went, no, look, I didn't think you said this, but I just want to confirm my girlfriend. I said, did she send you over? Is that what you're telling me? He goes, well, yeah. I said, so you didn't think I said something. You think she thinks I did. What the fuck are you doing here? Send her over.
Yeah.
He said, no,
when you address the crowd right at the beginning, I've said this on the podcast a few times, like, but this is poignant for you. He says, "Did you use the N-word?" I went, "What? What? That doesn't make any... No."
Yeah.
I said, "Sure." I probably went, "Howdy lads," or something like that when I took the mic for the first time. That's not how... There's, number one, you're probably the only black lad in here. It wouldn't make any fucking sense. I said, I'm not black, so it would be weird to say it. And on top, we don't even say that word in Ireland.
No.
As racial slurs go, that one's not here.
Yeah.
That belongs to America.
Yeah.
So your man went, "Okay." I said, "So you can go back now and tell her retrospectively she can go and enjoy the fucking rest of my set." And he was like, "No, I thought it was really good, so I go tell her." I said, "Good man." But as I'm walking past, you want to just throw me filthies, and your man's head is down, right? They're sitting over there. And I went over and I said, "Did he tell you what I said? Or what you didn't hear?" And she went, "I heard what I heard." I went,
You see
"But
that?
you fucking didn't."
Yeah.
It wasn't actually physically said. But she went, "I heard what I heard." I went, you can't get offended by something that wasn't actually fucking said." I said, "Here, you buck up and fucking put some manners on her there, will you?" And she's a big old girl too, like, so I'd say she would have fucking smashed him, like, with
Well, that's probably why he was a bit coy.
Yeah. But it was amazing. They butt fucking ignorance out of her, by no way. In fact, like the fact that there was 300 or 400 other people in here that didn't hear that, and he didn't even hear that.
What was it?
She thought I'd said the N-word.
Yeah, but what did you say?
Lord knows, it can only be in "How you lads" or
Yeah.
something along those lines. But they were quite literally off the fucking plane.
Yeah, well, it's the usual. It's like people hear what they want to hear, and even if you go to kind of explain to there's some people out there that
Unreal,
you just
isn't it?
can't explain anything to them because they've made their mind up.
Yeah,
I'm going to be offended, and that's the end of it.
it's just fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But but I think she was being offended on his behalf because she was white and she had, I don't know, there was some, if you dug into it with a fucking psychiatrist, there was something not right with her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, your man didn't even think I said it. He thought I said, "How you lads?" Do you know what I mean? She just heard something. Now, I said, "Look, I understand this is you're only in the fucking place. You only flew in this morning. But you're going to have to..."
See, it's the accent, Tom. It's the culture accent.
It's a bit heavy, I know.
You know.
But to be able to find that word in "How you lads," that's a fucking stretch by anybody's stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
And tell me this, I mean, what's like, you're going on, what brought you to LA? I mean, it's self-explanatory in a lot of ways, but what brought you?
Well, I was, I was acting over here for a good few years.
Yeah.
And, it was going relatively well. And I always had I always liked the idea of going to LA.
Yeah.
Right. And the idea of going to LA and the reality of going to LA can be, completely different or whatever, right? So, back in 2008, I went over to do like an acting class for a month and kind of just, live there for a few weeks and get the lay of the land and see whether I actually did like LA and not just what I'd kind of seen on TV and all the rest of it. So I went over and did the acting class, and I did. I really enjoyed it, and I liked the area I was in West Hollywood, and I was like, yeah, I could see myself just coming over here and giving it a go.
Yeah.
So I came back then, and it took me fucking 4 years to get my ass in gear and get the O1 visa.
Yeah.
Which is a pain in the arse to get. It's difficult to get and all that, but I got it. And headed over in September 2012. And I was there till November. I came back to do the Helix Panto.
Yeah.
Then Anglo, the musical, came up. And I got offered that, so I stayed to do that, build up the bank balance and all the rest. And then myself and Jen went back over in like February of 2013, and that's like six years ago, just over 6 years ago. And it was to act, like that was the thing. And so I, did the usual thing, took a load of classes, took in like audition technique and scene study, all that jazz. I did improv at UCB, which is a very funny comedy club, and did sketch comedy writing, all that stuff, just trying to get in amongst the people and meet new people and all that jazz. And eventually I got my first agent, so I was like, that was like delighted,
nice.
And you think at that point you're kind of going to go, great, okay, I'm going to be heading out in auditions now, and this is when the kind of real work, kicks off. And I just found myself then, all I was getting sent out on was for like commercials for ads, and I wasn't getting anything. I wasn't getting sent for any like TV
There's no
shows.
peddling the Irish thing any bit at all, was there?
Huh?
There's no peddling the Irish thing any bit at all, is there? Did they give a shite?
Yeah, like because like you would go out and you'd be doing your American accent, and so I stayed with her for about a year, and I was just like, this is a waste of time. Like, look, it's great. I actually got an Apple commercial.
Did you?
Yeah, which was like great.
Selling apples,
Granny Smiths. But it never aired, so I only got paid for the day. But if I had a round, it was like a national commercial, and it was just before the wedding and all the rest of it. So we were like spending that money before it.
Of course,
happened,
yeah, being in that boat, but
and so that never aired or whatever. But I then dropped that agent because it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So I got a manager then, and it was the same thing. It was just going out for commercials and all the rest of it. And then, but in the meantime, I'm talking to people who had been there for longer than I was, like Irish people over there and friends of mine now. And I'm listening to them, like you meet up and like, so what's happening? And like, I haven't had an audition in like 3 months, or I haven't had an audition in 4 months, or I've only been out like a couple of times and all the rest of it. And I'm like, in my head, I'm kind of going, fucking hell, like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
Because like I'm a nobody over there,
Yeah.
So at that point I was kind of going, right. And I was coming home back and forth, like doing the panto and all the rest of it, so that was good. And I got a few part-time jobs over there. Fucking hell, like,
like we've all done the part-time jobs. What were you doing to subsidize?
Well, the worst
teaching
one,
kids how to act or something.
No, that would have been a massive step up from what I was doing. Like the worst job I had over there was I worked in the doggy daycare.
Did you? That doesn't sound like a bad job.
No,
it doesn't.
Dogs. It doesn't, and that's why I went and I interviewed for it, met the owner or whatever, and I was like, yeah, fucking, I love dogs.
Yeah,
like absolutely love dogs. So I was like, this is great. But the job itself was standing in a room, right? And you had to stand. You couldn't sit down because there's a window there, and customers can come in and look in at their dog,
right?
And so I'm standing in a room, just keeping an eye on 15 dogs. And
so you're watching them, you can't play with them or nothing.
Well, I mean, you can, but at the same time, when there's 15 of them, you don't want to get them all
riled up,
because then you'll have a little mini fucking war on your hands. So, but like, you're standing there for like 8 hours, you have a couple of breaks, and you're literally wiping piss off the floor and picking shite off the floor.
Fuck.
And just keeping the place generally nice and tidy. So I think I lasted about a month, because we had to come home to go to a wedding, and when we got back from the wedding, like it was in Spain. It was my our friend's wedding, Jen's cousin's wedding, and I was sitting in Spain. I was kind of going, I can't go back to that fucking job.
You cannot.
I can't fucking do it.
No.
So I came back and I didn't go back. I was like, no, fuck that. Plus I was on the O1, so I shouldn't have been working anyway.
Oh, right.
And then I drove for Lyft, which is like,
it's Uber, isn't it?
Yeah. So Lyft came into LA before Uber ever did.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. And that was actually that wasn't too bad,
Apparently it pays its driver better than it's supposed to be a better service than Uber for the driver itself, isn't it?
It's a different, it's a different ethos. They're way more down with the cool kids, and like when Lyft first started coming out, like you used to like fist bump the driver, and it was like real cool and all this stuff.
But the fact that it's ironically it's staged to fit fist bump, that the coolness is totally gone out of it.
Totally, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like if you have to tell people, hey, you got a fist bump, it's like, oh, jeez.
But they don't do that anymore, And then Uber came in, and Uber's kind of like would be the main one now. But I drove for Lyft, and that was actually quite good because you met like a lot of people.
Yeah,
and you'd get
and it's on your own time too, like isn't it?
Yeah. So like I'd go out, at night mostly, and do like 5 hours, and then come home, go to bed, whatever, and you might meet some of the randomest fucking people,
right?
meet in your life, and then you'd end up in parts of LA you'd never go,
Yeah.
like yourself,
But you were
which
far-
is not generally not always a good
Are
thing.
you trying to? But is a nice way of saying it is you're far too white to be where you were. Is that what you're saying?
There was definitely one occasion where I was kind of going,
Mexican lads with tattoos on their necks, and you're kind of going, hell.
yeah, like
Hello.
it was towards kind of like Compton, like down like Inglewood and down around there, and and like, this was in my head. All I'm thinking of is like
Boys in the Hood.
yeah, all that stuff, and like that's the way my brain was, I suppose, hardwired or
Yeah.
whatever. The person I was dropping off was sound,
Grand,
dropped him
yeah,
off.
yeah.
He was worked in the kitchen in Beverly Hills, and I was dropping him home, and we had a great old chat or whatever. But when we got to where he lived, I was like, dropped him off, thanks a mil, grand, and then I was like, what, I'm gonna knock off the app here and just head back towards, because this was like 5 years ago, and I was like, I
want this car. I want to keep this car.
So that was grand. So like there's those type of jobs. Like that was grand. Lift one was grand. The dog one was a fucking.
That's so disappointing because doggy daycare sounds so lovely. I imagine running around the garden after dogs.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Nah,
no,
inside in the fucking room wiping up shite.
Wiping up shite and piss. But them's the things you got to do.
Oh,
when you're
yeah.
over there. But I just kind of got a bit kind of. There's a harsh reality to Los Angeles, and to hear, stories of people who've been there longer than you and who have kind of worked on shows and stuff like that, and even they're fucking complaining. So it got to a point where I went, right, I'm gonna have to try and do something myself.
Yes,
and make something happen.
Yeah,
So I got to writing a couple of short films. One of those was The Day LA Stood Still, and did the festival circuit with that. And you're kind of hoping that something will come of that. Somebody will see it and kind of go, "Oh man, that was good. Who's that guy? Let's get in touch with him." Didn't happen.
Standard.
Then did another one called "What Do You Say" with Caroline Moran in it and another Irish guy, Damien O'Hare, and that kind of did the festival circuit and like very well received and all that. But again, like. Nothing was kind of coming of it, you know?
Yeah.
And all the time still coming back and doing panto here. And last year I came back to do Coppers, so directed that. And then when I went back from Coppers, I was like, right, I need to do something else.
Yeah,
again,
I thought I'd get a look in for one of the cultures on that, but no, don't worry about it.
I don't know. It was like, I don't think you're convincing as a culture.
No.
But I think you need to work on that. But so I at that point I was like, and we had the baby on the way, and I was like, right, I need to kind of look at myself and go, right, what am I like really good at? What do I enjoy doing? And how can I create some really good, as they say, content? So I'd 5 stage plays that stage schools in Ireland buy off me, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll do their end of the year show, and they'll like one of them's a fairy mixed up tale, and it's panto-esque, where it's all the different fairy tales put together, and it's a bit of crack. Knight's Tale, something like that. And then there was this one called Dr. Bowlboy, which was about like an 8-year-old evil genius who wants to take over the world.
Brilliant.
And I always liked that character. I was always like, I think he could go somewhere.
Something funny about evil children too, like isn't there, like Stewie, And
exactly.
There's something funny about evil children or evil animals.
And the scenario, like what I like about writing kids stuff is that you can put them in like adults. Adult world or whatever, and it's hilarious. Like kids who talk like adults, I find
brilliant,
hilarious. So
like traveller children, they're nothing funnier than traveller children, is there? Like, and I go,
I don't know many traveller children.
There was one I posted. I just because it just made me laugh too hard, and Haley Joe and a couple more people tagged me in it because they thought this is what you must have sounded like as a child. Because it was just this kid. It just opens with this kid. He can be no more than 6, sitting on the back of a Shetland pony in a 3-piece suit. And he's in a field and he's singing some cowboy song. And then he just steps off. Like the kid, it looked staged brilliantly. He just stood off and he talked to camera then to some guy who was in the UK and that he was going to, all about his new pony. And this is a 6-year-old. But because he was in a 3-piece suit and one hand in his pocket and one hand holding the pony, like.
There you go.
And he's like a little man.
Yeah.
And there should have been nothing funny about it, but I must have watched it 40 times in a row. It just made me howl.
Well, that's like when you have your kids, you're looking into the future there. You're looking.
Oh, for sure.
You know.
Like, yeah. I know. I was old too when I was a child. You know, like, I was just old child.
Yeah.
Had an old head. Just asking fellas about the price of diesel and stuff when I was
But is
5.
that like more a country thing than, like, let's say a Dublin thing?
I would think so. I don't know, but I think
Like, are there
not all country. I would imagine if you're a rural country like I was, where you have to be very especially in the 80s, you had to be getting your shit together, like, because you could fall down and die in a lot of places. So it's fine to be acting a maggot in most places as a child, but as a child in rural agricultural Ireland,
it's
in
life
the 80s,
and death.
well, you just got to get your shit together a bit. Now you do when lads talk about the mad shit I did when I was young, I'm like, you have no fucking idea how all of us as children in our surrounding areas skirted death.
But
like.
That reminds me of a time, right? I went to the Gaeltacht when I was 12.
Where?
Right, in Spiddle, Closh Lurgan.
Oh, right, yeah.
Closh Lurgan, which they're the ones that do all the fucking brilliant
unbelievable,
YouTube stuff now. Like, amazing. But I went, one of the days they brought us orienteering.
Right.
So they obviously had set up the course or whatever, right? But it was on a bog. And we were
Lethal.
let go.
Lethal.
Fucking hell. Like, we were, whatever, there was, I don't know, 3 or 4 in our team or whatever. And you're running and you're falling down these holes. And at one point, one of the guys fell down and fucking disappeared down the hole and then just kind of popped back up.
Jesus Christ.
It was like, but we're like laughing, you know, going, oh, that's fucking gas. Drag him out and away we go.
There you
know?
go, yeah.
Could you imagine that now?
Oh,
not a chance.
Not a fuck. If the bog would be sued. Somebody would sue the bog.
Yeah.
But that was the reality. So I do think we were kind of, and all you had aspirations to be was an old man anyway, and to be because you see, all the men I can think of as a child were all tough bastards, hardy bastards. They were all. You just had to be able to kind of do a bit of everything from fucking welding to. You had to be able to get shit done yourself because there was no ring a man about it.
Then were you then brought, like, would you be brought to the pub then?
Yeah.
Sat on a stool with your crisps and
you're listening to other owl fellas.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Well, like, I was, you know, I mean, Leixlip wasn't rural Ireland, you know, but like that was for me, that was kind of part of my childhood where my dad was like, he managed my brother's football team. He managed my team for a while as well, but like on a Sunday, after the match, we'd come home, we'd have dinner or whatever, and then my dad would be going for a pint, and then my mum would go, "Oh, will you bring the boys?" You know, and he no more wanted to fucking bring us.
The reason why he was going to the fucking
was
pub
to get away from us.
Yeah.
You know, and 2 things would happen, right? If he was in the mood to be, you know, surrounded by his 3 boys or even 1 or 2 of us, he would bring us in and we would sit down and there would be a saucer of cheddar cheese chopped up into little kind of soldiers with brown sauce.
Lovely.
And we'd eat away. And
ironically, would go amazing with a few pints.
Pints of red cadet.
That's good old cadet pie.
Or else we'd just be left in the car and he would come out and give us our crisps and we'd be left in the car and just that would be chatting away. But like, you know, and we might get out and run around the car park or
but you think about the neglect of that. But funny, I suppose times do change, like, but
they do,
that was neglect, like, you know what I mean, to a certain degree.
But as a kid, you like I don't remember sitting there going, I think Dad's neglecting us.
No,
you know, you're
like,
kind of going, all right,
class.
This is it.
Let's come up with something to do. Like, hey, I dare you to climb that tree over there.
Yeah,
go on, so you know. And but that's I do notice, and I don't obviously with a child on the way and stuff. I don't know what kind of a fucking parent I'm going to be like, but
yeah, man. Yeah.
You're a brand spank new parent.
12 weeks.
12 weeks.
12
like,
weeks. Yeah.
It's what freaks me out though is the fucking is the addiction levels kids get to
the iPads,
screens, like, and screens, and I'm like, what happened to a crayon? And fucking like when you're at a restaurant, like who's at fault? Like, I don't think the kid's at fault because you're trying to put him quiet because you don't want him fucking wrecking everybody else's head in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it'll only take a few spins to the restaurant for that to wear off, surely. I mean, a dog will stop biting you if you fucking train it right. You know what I mean? Like, so, again, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but is it right? Because what if the fucking power goes in the thing? There's no coming back, you know? Is boredom not all right, like?
It's what?
Boredom should be all right, some bit, you know what I mean?
I agree, you know, but at the same time, you're like look, my kid's only 12 weeks old, so I'm nowhere even close to that. And you can have all the ideology in the world.
I know, yeah.
But then when the kid is screaming blue murder, and you're kind of going, all right, fuck it, here you go. And,
I get it, yeah.
They put on YouTube or whatever. But I do agree, like you, like ideally, I would like to think that I'll be putting like that crayons in front of a colouring book or whatever, you know, and that'll be great. Like, look, to kind of bring this slightly around, like I've just written a podcast for kids.
Yeah. That was going to. Guess that's where we're going to with this. Yeah,
like that. So like that is one of the reasons. Like there are other reasons for.
It's the reason why I had a child. Just to get an insight.
Yeah, but like one of the things and one of the ways I'm trying to like get parents on board with it is that it's great for the car insofar as each episode is like 10 minutes long.
Brilliant.
So the kids you're going to school or you're bringing them to football or wherever, that you can all listen to it, and it's a bit of crack, and they get to use their imagination and they're away from their screens. You know what I mean?
That's a brilliant idea. Brilliant.
So yeah, so that's like that is one of the reasons I've done it.
Yeah.
You know, it's called The Dastardly Deeds of Professor Nasty. It's available.
Professor Nasty. Yeah.
We'll wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'd like that. In the show notes of this, I'll put the link anyway, so people click straight through. That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
And who did you get actors in to help you with the voicing of it, or did you do a lot of it yourself?
No, not at all. Like well, look, this goes back to, like, you know, what are you doing in LA? What the fuck are you doing in LA? And I'm like, what am I doing in LA?
Well, this is the question we all want to know when somebody's abroad. You go, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
Why you know what? Because you do ask the question, and like for the bit of traveling that I do with stand up and all the rest, it's purely just and I could do the smart thing and go and move to fucking England because that's where. Yeah. But for me, I know my limits where I need to keep my temper, and I know it wouldn't last in England.
Your temper wouldn't?
Yeah, no, not in a place like London. Like, it just wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'd end up fucking smashing somebody. Like, and is
that out of like because you would have to kind of start from scratch?
Oh well, that'd be one thing.
Yeah,
but it's just a confinement. I don't do well in hugely dense places. I won't over a long period, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be fine for a while and go, this is very exciting and all the rest, but then I realise, because I've plucked myself out and now live in the countryside, just outside Dublin, and I realise, my writing has gotten way better, my productivity has gone up, everything, because my temper is way down.
Yeah.
So I've realised what it is. It's too many fucking people.
You hate people.
This is the thing. I fucking hate him. Unless I can control every one of them.
I'm being controlled right now.
There's a gun.
He's looking in my.
There's a gun beside me here. But I know my limits of. Yeah. I know my tolerances of things. Yeah. And I think it's. I'll just have to work away with what I have here. You know, that kind of way. But you do still kind of wonder, geez, LA, like, you know what I mean? Because it's.
I know.
It's sparkly in all our heads, like, you know.
It is that, and like, it's. We do love it out there, you know, and Jen's got a really cool job that I get to help out with. She works on these cool projects out in like the desert. Like we've gone to Burning Man.
Yeah, I see that. I was going to ask you. You fucking love an old bit of Burning Man, don't you?
Yeah, we've done it. She's done it well, she helped on there's a camp that we bring out there to Burning Man.
Right.
So she helped out the first year. That's how she got the job. She was brought on for like I don't know, like a 4-week contract to help the logistics of bringing this camp to Burning Man without her actually going to Burning Man. And that 4-week contract it's now like, I don't know, nearly 4 years at this point. Hell. But then I started, because, you know, I tagged along because in the entertainment business, you have a lot of time in your hands. So I ended up helping with those camps and then other stuff that they do.
And it's worth seeing too, just even for, I suppose, a creative point of view. You're going, must have a go have a look at this now because it's such a big thing. Let's see what it's all
mental.
about.
It's the second largest city in Nevada for the week that it's
That's
built.
hilarious.
So there's like 70,000 people.
What do they do with all the like? How do you, like? What's the fee for getting into it or whatever? Like,
well, you buy it. You buy a ticket. Like, so they range, I think, from some like $400 up to like $1,200, and that's just to get in
before you go camping a thing.
Yeah, so you have to bring everything yourself. Like, you have to bring
what about
all your water.
What about the shitter?
There's toilets there.
Oh, is there? Oh,
Yeah,
fair enough.
yeah,
Like, they
but
give you that for your $400.
Just think of it like when you go to, if you went to Oxygen or you went to Electric Picnic, what the toilets are like on the Friday to what they are on the Sunday, right? Now, Burning Man is like from the Sunday to the following, like a week later.
In the sun as well.
In the sun.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, it is, it's horrific.
Is it?
Yeah, but now the camp that we went, we were in like one of these.
I say, is it? I definitely believe you. Actually.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
it's horrific. The start of the
I
week.
spent 3 days in the ploughing championship. I know exactly what you're talking about. The Burning Man of the Midlands.
The ploughing man. we could set that up here.
There you go. We start our own festival here.
The plough man. But yes, so the camp we bring our own toilets and we bring our own showers.
That's
so,
the job.
Like we're
Yeah.
glamping, as it were.
I'm with you. Yeah.
But there are people, like, if you're just going, you can go on your own. You can just go in your car with a tent. Now, you'd be kind of mad to do that, but some people do. And you have to bring all your water for however long you're going to be there, all your foods, like everything, like, and then you have to like tidy up after you, so you can't leave. It's like leave no trace. So the whole playa is just left, so it's supposed to be left pristine after it, and you get marked then. So like our camp will, like, we at the end of the week, we've taken down all the tents and all the accommodations, like little gypsy wagon accommodations that we've had, and then we are on our hands and our knees and we are picking up pieces of glitter, fucking pubic hair, like everything, every drop. If there's rice, if there's anything, and you have to leave it, and otherwise, if you get a red mark, you won't be allowed back the next year.
Right. Yeah. And what is the surface you're standing on? Is it sand or what is it? Or is it just
no? It's
hard dirt?
Like hard, like hard desert.
Sounds like a terrible fucking idea altogether.
Yeah, like
when you think about it, actually, as the physics of it, like, it sounds. Jeez, that's an awful idea. Like, would you not just have it in the forest? Like?
Yeah, well, I think like it's obviously started in like San Francisco on a beach, and then it just grew, and now it's this massive, extravaganza that happens every year, and like
it does sound interesting, though. I'd love to. I'd
love
to go to.
It's definitely worth a look.
Yeah.
Even just for like nighttime alone, it's like something out of what's that film?
Mad Max.
Yeah, like Mad Max, or definitely Mad Max. Mad Max during the day. And then, what's the one with Harrison Ford that was remade? Blade Runner.
Okay, right.
Blade Runner at night, because it's all like the artwork out there, and like they have art cars, so you'll have like a full sized pirate ship.
Okay.
On wheels.
Sounds perfectly normal.
Driving it, and then you've got just stuff that will look straight out of Mad Max, and all lit up at night. The whole place is just
right.
It's like, it is unbelievable.
What's it for now? I know it was kind of us against the man, kind of, like
kind of. Well,
who's making money out of it now?
Well,
because that's what peddles everything.
Like. The org is,
right,
and they actually, the guy who one of the founders died last year, and
did you burn him?
I don't know.
That would have been the way to go.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Fuck, that would have been the way to go. Stick him up on a big pike and just burn him.
Just fucking burn him. I don't know what they did. They might have put his ashes in, like...
that's not worth it. Shit. You're gonna do this right at all.
Yeah.
Burn him.
Yeah. Are you in 100% or not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fucking hell. Burn. Yeah. The name is... The clue's in the name. Like,
yeah. I don't know what they did with
Be a good way to go, wouldn't it? Do you know, if you're gone and just, like, I mean, I know, like, what's his name? Hunter S. Thompson had himself shot out of a cannon. Yeah, had himself shot out of a cannon at sea. Johnny Depp got to light the fuse and everything.
No
yeah,
way.
yeah. Just the way he wanted to go after just riddling his body with so much drugs and alcohol. Like
That is amazing.
shot out of
Well,
a cannon.
the guy who founded Burning Man, he should. I'm sure he was cremated, but I don't think he was at Burning Man. I don't know though.
A bigger deal probably would have been made about it had it been. It's probably not 100% legal, I'd say, just to go and burn a fella.
Well, we didn't go last year, but the year before, like at the burn where they burn the man, they do it on the Sunday night. And like there's 70,000 people in a circle just sitting, like it's not like it's tiered seating or anything like that. It's
Right.
Everybody's just sitting down. It's quite remarkable. Like it's some spectacle. I've never felt heat like it. Like you're a good bit away from it, but the heat and the intense heat from.
You've never been at a fucking tire fire bonfire, so
I've never been at one of your barbecues. But a guy. Now we were there, but we didn't see it because it's so big. But a guy broke the circle and ran into fire
thanks.
and killed himself.
Fuck it if you're gonna go.
Well, if you're gonna go, yeah.
Fucking Darwin Awards.
Yeah.
What do you think was gonna happen? He's gonna come out the other side handy, or
Well, they tried to get him. I think they did drag him out, and he got free again, and he ran back in again. I think at that point they just
that
went,
man
all
had
right,
done a
fuck him."
lot of drugs.
Yeah, but apparently, like again, you just hear these stories that he didn't have a history of drug use, and he had a wife, and I think he had a couple of kids. But maybe because he didn't have a history of drug use, maybe he took something.
And it didn't
ended
sit well with him.
No,
We've all had something repeat on us at some stage. Just the LSD didn't suit that man.
But yeah, so Burning Man it's worth a look. You know?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
so tell me more. What was the last one you did? You did was it Coppers you did here?
Yeah.
How did you find that? Was it good crack?
That was mental. Like originally it was supposed to be with puppets, you know.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So we'd done Anglo, right, in 2012, and that was with puppets, and I was one of 3 characters that wasn't. That was just like a human, and the producers wanted to do. Actually, there was so much hassle over Anglo, like legally, because of that was happening. Yeah, they were getting like solicitors' letters like on opening night, and had to, like Paul Howard was up the night before opening night, like editing and rewriting and songs getting taken out. Like,
oh Jesus, right?
It was a mission. So, and during that period, one of the Darren Smith, who's one of the producers, says to Paul Howard, "We should have done Coppers the musical." As a joke, you know, and lo and behold, that seed was planted, and whatever, five years later, Paul writes it, and they talk to Copperface Jacks, get their blessing, and
of course they did.
Yeah, you know,
you're not going to get any letters off Coppers.
So I came back last year to do that, and that was 4 weeks of rehearsing with the puppets,
right?
But they weren't the right puppets. And then when the right puppets arrived, they still weren't right. And we were going into like the last few days of rehearsals. And then just before we went in to tech it, I got a phone call and said, "What do you think about us not using the puppets?" And
Jesus, just before you went to tech.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
For anybody wondering, that's about a couple of days out.
Yeah.
Quite literally a couple of days.
We ended up having the Monday to rehearse without the puppets, to tech on the Tuesday and dress rehearsal on the Wednesday, and then open on a Thursday. So that's how much time the cast had to like pretend they weren't holding puppets that they'd been holding for 4 weeks, and they were like incredible. I rang them all individually, and I said, "Look, this is what we're doing. How do you feel about it?" The decision had been made, but and every one of them was like, "Yeah, Grant, okay, let's do it." You know,
no kick-ups at all.
No,
fair play.
You
think one? You think to be one?
Yeah,
but
it was, and I was
like,
I was apprehensive.
Yeah.
But it was like it is such a great group of people. Like it's coming back again now this summer in July, and we had to recast one part, but it's such a great close knit. There's only I think like 10 of them in the cast, and they just said, right, yeah, let's do it.
Wow.
Do it. And then it was the choreographer I was kind of more worried about, because the blocking for me was the same, and the way they deliver lines, although they had puppets, the intent and everything was the same.
Yeah.
So it was the choreography, but then Debbie was like, yeah, no, this is actually going to be much better.
Wow.
And the first preview we had, like, you're sitting there shitting yourself, and it was a standing ovation. And at that point we were going, I think we're onto something here, lads. Yeah. So it's back again, which is great. So I'll get to come home again.
Brilliant. You could be back again.
Yeah. So I think we're only doing like 10 days rehearsals. And then it'll be running for, I think, 4 weeks in Olympia.
And are they going to take it around the country, or is there a need? Do you think it would still sell around the country, surely, though?
I think tours are quite difficult insofar as the amount of time, effort and energy and the amount of money, if you're going to make money, is not really worth the hassle.
I know, and you have a cast of, as you said, like a cast of 10 or whatever, and then
and the set and ship and, like, all that stuff. So so it's just the Olympia. Maybe down the line I know places wanted it for sure. No, it's just going to do the Olympia.
Brilliant. And just jumping back, because the podcast one.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't aware that it was out. I knew you were making, because I saw the stage, and then you just radio silence. You should. We need you to make a bigger hoopla about the fucking thing.
I've been doing my best, Tom. I don't know how to market.
To be fair, like, this is coming from an old man, essentially. Like, why didn't I hear about?
Well, I have it. Like, it's on. Like, I have an Instagram for it, and I have a Facebook page for it. And I'm updating that like a few times a week. Like, I listen to Gary Vaynerchuk. Have you ever listened?
Oh,
to Gary
yeah.
Vaynerchuk? So he was kind of listening. I brainwashed myself listening to him on how to use social media for your benefit.
Yeah.
Because everybody should be on it, and the world is your ostrich, as they say, with the internet. So I was like, do I do this? Do I put myself on camera at this? Like, when I first started it.
Yeah.
And I was so in the voice in my head kind of going, Karl, if you don't follow through on this and you're after putting yourself out there, you're going to look like a fucking idiot. And then I told that voice to shut the fuck up. And I just did it anyway. And I was like, well, and like, who's going to fucking care? Like, if it wasn't to happen, like, who is going to fucking care?
Oh, I know. But the fucking would, it would be an injustice to yourself anyway, like,
Yeah, and I'd be gutted, but like the thoughts of like, oh, all these people be like laughing at me, like, I think as Irish people, you kind of have that in your.
It's the only thing that drives us.
Yeah,
is fear of
what other people are
an embarrassment.
Thinking.
That's all it is. And chances are, it's nobody's watching you that intently, because
they're
worried about fucking who's looking at them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what, like, listening to Gary Vaynerchuk, I he literally brainwashed me, and I went, fuck it. So I documented from the very fucking start, including saying, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, I don't know. I've never done a podcast. Yeah. I've written Panto, and I've written a couple of short films, and I've a fucking musical that I wrote for an Irish woman over in London, and that type of stuff. But I've never done this. Yeah. And this was going to be my baby, and all the rest of it. And so I just said, fuck it, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of help. Like, everybody came on board and gave their time for free. I had a friend of mine over there reached out with a studio without me asking.
Stop.
Yeah, 2 days. And it actually ended up doing, I think, 4 all together with mixing it and stuff like that. All the actors, I knew some of them. I think there was about 17 actors brought in. I knew half of them were helping me out as friends.
That's amazing.
And then others came in through friends of friends, auditioned for it, and cast us, when they emailed through their auditions. And even at that point, I didn't know what I was looking for, because you're looking for actors who can do kids' voices,
Yeah.
And I'm not in that world over there. So I needed a lot of help, and just the willingness of people, Tom, to help you out if they believe in the project, and they kind of go, do you know what, this is going to be fun. Yeah, I'll do this.
That's lovely to hear. Like, you know what I mean? Because you never hear that shit. Like, you know what I mean? People not giving their time for nothing. Like, you know what I mean? So that is unbelievable.
It was like, and we had a friend of mine, Ross Breen, who's an Irish musician, and he wrote the theme song for it, which is
I saw that. Yeah, the music
the
is brilliant.
catchiest fucking
It's
theme
brilliant.
song
Yeah,
you'll
yeah,
ever hear. And then I have an artist friend of mine from Leakslip. Ross is from Leakslip. I'm from Leakslip. Dave Farley, who's doing sketches. So I'm hoping to do an illustrated book for it.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah.
So there's loads. It's the first time I've had a plan of my own that I'm not working for somebody else, like to direct something that somebody else has written or whatever. And it's the first time I've had a plan where I'm kind of going, right, it's going to start out as a podcast. I want to do an illustrated book. And the ultimate goal is to get it made into a cartoon.
Yeah,
like, that's what I want.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, the animations of it.
Like that's the ultimate goal. And we're at the very start of the kind of the journey of it being out on the internet now.
Brilliant.
But it's been getting great feedback, and like parents are loving it because they're able to listen to it with their kids.
Yeah. Unlike my podcast where we've said fuck at least 400 times.
I even used the C word.
Do you know what? You did. You were first out the gate with that. That's how you know a fella's relaxed when he's like, so this one's a cunt, right?
So, so that's my LA life now at the moment is that.
That's class.
When I go back, I want to do a Kickstarter campaign to raise money so I can pay people to do a season 2.
Yeah.
And then, you're hoping to the fucking universe that at some point somebody will come along and go, I love this podcast, let's make it into a cartoon. And then at that point, or do you know what, like, even if somebody came up and said, love your writing, come into our writer's room for this kids show, like, that's because I need to make something happen.
I get you.
Myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, there's good nature too in watching, like who I had on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. I don't know, did you ever come across her? Aoife Dooley is her name.
No.
She's an illustrator here, very funny. She made RT Player commissioned her to make their little 4 minutes. She had the I think, I don't know, it was a Twitter account first, and then a Facebook called Your One Nikita.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
It's brilliant. And now, I mean, she got to make her own one, and it's basically fucking. It's kind of, I suppose, just, stun Huns. Like she did one time, and I think it really kicked off her, where she was like, Hun's guide to going to oxygen, and it was all the shite that I fucking hear you want.
Oh, right.
And it was,
but
and since then though, she was able to illustrate her own one.
So she just started out on her own, just as this. Yeah. I'm going to do this.
Have a listen to her the episode. Yeah. It's probably maybe 10 back from this one.
Right.
And just have a listen. And she tells her whole story, how fucking just keeping her fucking just drilling
yeah.
here, like, and just fucking.
Well, here's the thing, like especially in the world that we're living in now, where the internet and social media and all the rest of it, like if you're in the entertainment industry, even as a stand-up comic, you're doing this podcast, like you're churning out content and getting it out there.
Yeah.
And as Gary V says, like we are. You're crazy not to, and he talks about, he's not talking about the entertainment industry specifically at all, but he talks about anything.
You're selling
like
anything.
If you've got a business and you're not using the internet, you're fucking bananas.
Or you've got an unbelievable business of some sort, you know what I mean, that doesn't need the internet, but it's almost few and far between.
Yeah, because look, I was lucky that people came on board and gave their time to this, and now it's just a matter of kind of word of mouth, or hoping some bloody like celeb with 1 million followers hears it and fucking.
I think you're probably going to have to get a Damo Clark has done a bit as well. He's a comic, brilliant comedian here, an Australian guy, but he has he's an animator or he's an illustrator as well, and he's drawn some of his own sketches about stand up. But he said even it's like, he said those would get huge if it's physically moving. Like, he does unbelievable. He brought out a book and everything last year, and it's mostly about just going to gigs. Brilliant. And it's just, the weird.
But see, that's him grabbing his career by the balls and going, right, I am a stand-up, but what else? What else I got? Do, and how can I like build a life, with my talents and make shit happen, And
so I think it'd be good to maybe to touch on one or two. Have a listen to the Damo Clark episode and Aoife Dooley, because the two of them are talking about that. How nobody was knocking on the door to give it to me. Yeah, I had to fucking go and do it. Yeah,
because like the Professor Nasty, I started writing it as a animated feature.
Oh, right.
After I did Coppers, and I got back from Coppers, and it was such a high leave in Dublin at that time because Coppers was like selling out, and I felt like I was leaving really at the wrong time because I was kind of going, this is a fucking biggest hit of the summer, and the director is fucking off back to LA, and I got back to LA. And
puts a bit of mystique on you, though, doesn't it? He had to
I
fly
don't
in.
know.
I think it does. I think it does. Like, there's like, you know what I mean? If your man's eyes, the director's flying in from LA, I think it does. I mean, and I know I shouldn't be talking about putting a fucking polish on a thing when it doesn't genuinely matter if you were living in Leixlip or fucking or Leitrim or fucking LA.
Yeah.
But it does to the regular bystander. If it sounds like flying in from LA.
Yeah, but like, sure, like nothing had happened since. It wasn't as if people were kind of going, "Oh, get that guy's number" or whatever, you know. And hence why I said, right, I'm going to take this because it was Dr. Bowlboy. Dr. Bowlboy was the original idea. Yeah. But Bowlboy doesn't translate outside of Ireland.
No,
nobody knows what it means.
No.
Bold is like brave and stuff in America. And my friends' kids told me that because I was like, I have this character called Dr. Bowlboy, and they're like, what's that, Dr. Bowlboy? And I was like, all right, we have to change it. Yeah. So we changed it to Professor Nasty. And yes, so I went to write it as a feature, an animated feature. And I emailed a friend of mine who works at Brown Bag, who founded Brown Bag, and I said, look, kind of half chance in my arm as well. I was like, look, I'm writing this. Would you be interested in reading it or help develop it?
Lovely.
Me bollocks, but like, fuck it, I'll just say. He came back to me, fair play to him, and he said, look, features are just notoriously difficult to get off the ground.
Yeah.
We kind of stay away from them. They do their cartoons and all the rest of it. And I read that email and I went, he's fucking dead right. And even if I do, I could write the best thing in the fucking world, but I still have to ship it out.
Yeah.
I don't have any control over it.
Yeah.
And that afternoon, just by pure coincidence, I was meeting a friend of mine who was back in LA from Australia, Tahina, and she, we were just meeting up for a catch up, and she goes, Karl, I have this idea, but I don't have any content for it. And I was like, well, that's interesting because I have some content, but I don't have an idea for it. And she goes, and I said, what is it? And she goes, a kids podcast. And immediately I went, that's it.
Wow. That was the stars aligning.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't normally buy into that shit, but for that to go...
That afternoon, Tom, like that afternoon, I had...
That's unbelievable that you had the vehicle and she had the vehicle and you had the fucking fuel, essentially.
Yeah,
and you,
yeah.
How the...
Yeah.
An exact fuel. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like...
It was... And it just made total sense because... It's a vehicle to showcase my writing and I suppose directing. I directed it as well and voiced one of the characters. And at that point you're kind of going, all right, if this sounds good, because it has to sound good because it's a podcast. You're hoping then when it's out there that somebody will kind of go, right, let's give this guy a chance here.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at now. So
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
We better get out of here before we get kicked out. Karl Harpur, where can just give us all those
all the ones. Okay, so Instagram. Well, you can subscribe for the Dastardly Deeds of Professor Nasty. Wherever you get your podcasts from,
and I'll put the link.
If you've got kids between like 5 and 12. I promise you'll have a bit of crack listening to it with them in the car or like a bedtime story or whatever. And then you can follow it on Instagram at Professor Nasty Podcast and on Facebook at Professor Nasty and then ProfessorNasty.com.
So type in Professor Nasty, you're going to
It'll come up somewhere.
Yeah.
Do
you know what, Karl Harpur? Thank you very, very much.
I really enjoyed this.
Good.
I'm going outside now to freeze me bollocks off again.
Well, you've gotten all your curse words out now before you go back to LA. Cheers, dude.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you very much, Karl. Fair play. So like he said, subscribe to his podcast. It's worth listening to anyway because it's just a fun listen even if you don't have kids. But if you have kids, it's a podcast that they can listen to. Subscribe to Professor Nasty. If you put that in, it'll come up. Trust me. An idiot like me was able to fucking find it. Like I said, check out all gigs at tomomahony.com/gigs. Thank you once again to the Patreon folk. If you do feel like throw a couple of dollars at the Patreon, it'd be very, very much appreciated. Shout out on this, of course, as well. And you do get the ad-free version as well as you getting the video of the Ramble Pod on Tuesdays. It's all yours for Patreons only. So you can follow me on all platforms. It's Tom O'Mahony Comedy, will find it. Give this old pod a rating. That's the number one thing. If your podcast app allows you to rate this podcast, go ahead and give it a rating. Right, going away, have a smashing weekend, and I'll talk to you again on Tuesday.